Good morning. Hopefully you can see and hear us okay for our second week of this term where we are visiting China virtually, obviously, not in person, to look at the animals and wildlife there. Hello, I can see that we've got Eden, Emily, Freya, Jill, Danin. I know I'm saying that wrong, so I do apologise. Thank you for joining us. And yeah, another fun draw along, another relaxed one where we're going to be studying this gorgeous little creature here, the golden snub-nosed monkey. And he's a really interesting little primate. We're going to be learning a little bit about him and studying him as well, which I think is really cool because he's very distinctive looking, isn't he, with the orange and blues contrasting against each other and his face as well. And his name, obviously snub-nosed monkey, there's a clue into his features, and I'm even going to explain why his nose is like that. There's a reason behind it, it's not just random. So we'll be learning loads of little facts as well. Hi from Pi. Hi, how are you from Maisie and Rosie? I'm good, thank you. I think we finally shifted this cough that's been hanging around forever, it seems. It's still there a little bit, but like we're sleeping at night at least, so that's always a bonus. Hi from Bean and Bud. So awesome, loads of regulars. So as always, especially if you're new here, just a quick explanation as to what we do. I'm just going to be drawing from my reference image. I would recommend you get your own reference image from the discussion tab on the event. I prefer to work on a tablet because it allows me to enlarge and then I can see details a little bit more clearly. But if you can't do that, then printing off one off is fine. Rachel's put 100-day cough. I think it may well have been. It feels like longer than 100 days, if I'm honest. And hi from Holly as well. So, hi from Atlanta. Awesome. So it's a relaxed draw along. I'm not going to say this is how you do it because I don't believe art should be like that. I think everyone should find their own way and their own preferred style of working. So it's not a formal art lesson where you're told this is how to draw and this is the way to do it, because art isn't like that. It's not a maths equation. There's no right or wrong way. So I'm just going to show you the way I draw, which is probably technically not the correct way in a formal artistic sense, but it's just the way I work. And you're free to copy the way I do it or to just relax into your own style and just hang out with us whilst we do it. And then as always, you're invited this evening to share your work with me. And if you want some feedback, where I always give you a comment on what I think you've done really well and then a comment on how you can progress your drawing, then you just leave your picture of your illustration and I'll feed back to you this evening. So at 6 p.m. tonight there'll be a picture of my drawing that goes up on our main Facebook page, and then if you just post a comment on there with a picture of yours if you'd like some feedback before 9 p.m, and then I will come along and do that. So should we get started? Should we start drawing or should I share a fact first of all? Which fact can Michael?
Drawing.
Michael's saying drawing. So if you didn't know, my learner Michael is also joining us. Michael's 11 and he joins in every week, but he's now determined that we're going to start straight away with drawing and we'll come back to some facts in between, maybe when my hand needs a break. So I'm going to work on my page landscape based rather than portrait. You could probably get away with doing portrait if you prefer, if your pad makes it easier for you to draw that way. And I'm planning on drawing most of the monkey with some of the green foliage around. See, now we go time wise. Obviously, I'm restricted to finishing by midday. If you want to carry on your drawing, then in theory you can. So you don't necessarily have to keep up with me. I know a lot of you guys work a lot faster than me, but I'm going to blame that on my age. So should we get started? So the first thing I'm going to do is start plotting out the main features, just so that I know that I have room on my page for all of the illustration that I want to include. So I've just started really roughly, drawing roughly where the head is, and then some of the body features as well, so that I don't crop things off unnecessarily. And then I'm going to put in a couple of leaves to show the foliage around him. And the reason I'm going to put some of the green in is because I just think this is a really colourful illustration, and it will help my drawing look better and more eye-catching if I've got the green background against the orange tones of his fur. So that's why I don't always do backgrounds, but that's why I'm doing that today. If I don't run out of time, we'll see. And you can change things to suit you. So you know, I'm looking at the pictures of the leaves thinking, oh, it feels like there needs to be a bigger leaf here. So I can just make it up because it's your artwork, it's your interpretation. So I've got the main sort of bulk of the illustration down in terms of where everything's going. So now I can start going in and actually making it make sense, because at the moment it definitely is not recognisable as a golden snub-nosed monkey. So we need to do something about that. So I'm going to start with the face. Now his head, like with most of us to be fair, is quite a big feature of him. So the eyes and the nose and the mouth are featured lower down on the face. They don't start up high up. So I'm going to start by trying to get that in first of all, so that his facial features look accurately placed and not just floating around on the top of his head. Again, I'm still drawing quite sketchy because I'm trying to, there's a good chance I need to rub out and readjust it. So if I press too hard on the pencil, it's going to make it harder for me to do that. He's got quite big eyes, almond shaped eyes. They're not perfectly round, quite human-like. They look very big and inquisitive. And then he has almost like a beard going on under his mouth and his chin. So this gorgeous fur obviously helps to keep him warm, because where he lives in China is a very cold climate. And that is another reason that his nose is the way it is. So if you think about it, if you go out in the cold, say we've got a snow day, and you go out and you don't put any gloves on, where do you feel the cold most to begin with? You think about it, Michael. When you go out and you're playing with snow, where do you feel the cold? Your nose? Where else?
Fingers.
Your fingers, your toes. Yeah, so all the little extremities of your body feel the cold straight away. So if you're in a really, really cold climate, you could potentially get something called frostbite, which is where those extremities, your toes, your fingers, your nose, turn black and literally fall off. It's to do with the circulation and the cold. So if you were living in a cold temperature with a nose like ours, there's a chance that you could lose your nose. So they think that the golden snub-nosed monkey has evolved to have this, almost like he's got no nose, it's just nostrils on his face, so that it can cope with the cold extremities. Interesting little fact there. So I've got the main details of the face down, and then I'm going to just make sure I've got the form of his back. You can't really see any features. You can't see his hands, which is for some people is a relief, because drawing hands is tricky. But he has got this gorgeous coat. If you look at the length of his fur on his back, look how long and shaggy it is. So when we start adding tone and colour, we'll make sure that we show that. It almost looks like human hair rather than fur, doesn't it? I'm just plotting in roughly where I can see the colour changes, because he's not all golden. It's not really, when you consider a golden colour, I can't see golden, I see red and oranges, a bit like the red panda that we did last week. Cool. How are we getting on so far, guys? So I've got the main outline of the monkey. So I'm going to read out some facts for you. That's looking good, Michael. So the golden snub-nosed monkey is found in the mountain ranges of southwestern China. They inhabit deciduous broadleaf and conifer forests along the Tibetan plateau at elevations of 5,200 to 13,000 feet. So they live high up in mountain ranges, so the oxygen will be thinner, it'll be very cold. In winter, the monkeys descend to woodlands at lower altitudes, and the snow cover can last for up to 6 months in the mountain forests where these monkeys live, and the species is among the few primates found in temperate zones. So they've had these adaptations to allow them to cope in cold temperatures. It's not the standard for primates, that's not normal, so they're quite unique in being able to do that and being able to cope with those cold temperatures. So now I'm going to go in, and this is where I have to zoom in so I can see. If we're working from printout, it'd be difficult to see, but I believe that his eyes are dark brown with a black pupil. So I'm going to draw those in, and then I'm going to go in and start putting in some more detail around his eyes. and then the nose as well, because that's a very prominent feature, so it's something that we'll want to get right. So he's obviously got some blue tones on his face, but they're quite subtly blue. It's quite a grey blue, so I wouldn't go in with like a dark or a bright blue when I add tone. And in fact his muzzle is almost white looking when you look at it. Just got a hint of blue. Where do you get the facts from? Everywhere. So I, obviously the internet. So I've researched a few different sites just to make sure that the facts are fairly accurate. A really good website for wildlife facts is, I want to say it's the World Wildlife Fund, WWF, is that it? They've got some, that's where I got a lot on the Arctic animals as well. They're really good, and they're quite not too sciencey, if that makes sense, in terms of lots of long words. It breaks it down nice and simply for me to understand. But some of my knowledge is from years and years growing up watching David Attenborough wildlife programmes. We were watching one yesterday actually, weren't we?
Mm.
So I think I've got the main features down that I want down. I'm not going to worry about the leaves yet, because that's something that I'll dedicate time to at the end, depending how quickly I can work through my illustration. So I'm ready to start actually adding colour and tone. So as always, if you've watched me before, I tend to start with the eyes, just so I can give them enough detail. So I'm going in with brown first of all, but I'll probably overlay some black on that as well, because they are a very dark brown. And I go darker around the edges, because you're drawing a sphere really, it's not a flat image. So if you go darker on the edges and then lighter towards the middle, if I show you, it helps to make the eyes look more 3D and sphere-like rather than flat image. And I always try and leave a highlight so that you can see light reflecting, and it makes it look a little bit more alive. And then this is going to be the tricky bit, getting the right blue tones. I've got like almost a navy and then a light. And I'm tempted to try these out on the edge of my paper, just to make sure I've got the right colours, because I'm thinking if I put them together, that will get roughly the right colour. And let's go. I just, on the edge of my page then, I just tried them out just to make sure that I was happy with that colour combination. So this is almost like a mauve coming out at the moment. But there are some mauve undertones there, definitely. So I'm going to focus on the little brow there because it's darker. And sweeping over to the eye. And then just pressing a little bit lighter as it fades out. And I'm going to go over this with the lighter blue just to change a little bit. See, now I find it a challenge drawing monkeys or primates, because I'm not very good at drawing people. and obviously the features of a monkey or gorilla or chimpanzee are not unlike our features. They're just a bit furrier and cuter. And round the nose as well, got some darker tones. Like I say, around his mouth is almost white, but I'm going to use a bit of the black to create his upper lip, the shadow. You can see it shows it rounded. And then whilst I'm there, I'm going to go and do his little nostrils. How are you getting on, Michael?
Good.
Winning today, are we? That doesn't sound very convincing. Jo's joined us. She said, "Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday." Is it a happy Monday? Are we feeling it this week? Have we got lots on? Back to normal lessons and stuff for us this end.
Well, I got online lessons tomorrow.
Yeah, Michael's got a few lessons tomorrow.
So today I get a nice break before I start.
Yeah, I'll find some stuff for you to do. Don't you worry.
As long as it doesn't have to deal with going outside.
Too cold today, isn't it?
Yeah.
So now I'm going to start bringing in some of this gorgeous orange fur. So if anyone knows anything about colour theory, orange and blue are contrasting colours. That means they're opposite each other on the colour wheel, which means they actually work well together. And I think this is why the golden snub-nosed monkey is so visually captivating. He really grabs your attention because the blue face contrasts really strongly against the more orange fur. So I'm going in with a really strong orange here. I might have to tone it down with some brown. But if you look at the markings in his face, it's not just a block colour, so that you can see really obvious markings. And there's a pattern, they're symmetrical on his face. So it's important to try and recreate that. So I'm going in with a bright orange, but like I say, I'll go in with a brown to sort of calm it down a little bit so it looks more realistic and less cartoony. But it is a bright coloured fur. And this is one of the things that unfortunately works against the golden snub-nosed monkey. So one of the reasons that golden snub-nosed monkeys are endangered is, I mean, there's a few reasons, but it's it's us once again. Well, us, we didn't do it. But one of the reasons they are hunted is for their fur. Unfortunately, they've got beautiful fur, and that is too tempting for some people. They're also hunted for medicinal properties, so in traditional Chinese medicine, and also for their meat, as in they are eaten as well. But that as well as deforestation, so they're losing their habitat, like a lot of our endangered animals. All this contributes to making them an endangered species, unfortunately.
Of course. So my head wasn't looking right. Like it was looking like a gremlin's head. So I shortened the ears. It still looks like a gremlin.
Oh, you've
And-
drawn ears on. I can't see his ears.
They probably do have ears.
You've
maybe.
used your imagination there,
Yeah.
haven't you?
Maybe they're just inside. I just want them to pop out. And then I drew a little his tongue poking out, and it just made him more cuter. So maybe that's
so he's
why
no
it
longer a
was blue.
gremlin.
No,
Good save.
he was really scaring me though.
He's got even a little thin brown stripe I can see going around his face as well. I'm going to pop that in. Oh, my hand's aching already. I think I might even need a darker brown on his head. Or perhaps some reddish tones in there too. Your hand aching as well, Michael. He's got a lot of fur, hasn't he? So that means more pencil lines, which means achy hands. Michael's in pain.
Take me to the hospital.
I believe in you, Michael. You can do it.
Pull my arm.
Try massaging your hand.
It's not my hand, it's my arm. My
Your arm?
hurts. Although I did do archery yesterday, so maybe it's
Yeah,
like
that could be right.
because I'm tensing my hand up.
How's everybody else getting on so far? Deep in concentration like us? Achy hands yet? Is that just us?
Although when I was trying to rub some of the mouth off, the paper started like just falling apart.
Would you
Like it was
being
just-
too aggressive?
I think I was being too aggressive and trying to. The paper was just. It looks like more. Its body looks more like a beanbag to me, like my one.
Was that the effect you were going for, Michael?
No, not really. But it looks cute. He's giving someone the side eye, yours.
Side eye.
Side eye.
Yeah.
He looks grumpy in the
He
picture.
does look a bit grumpy, probably because he's fed up with being in the cold.
And wants bananas. Well, not all monkeys eat bananas.
No, actually, I'll tell you what they eat. It did say, I did start off by saying about they eat the pine needles and they eat coniferous leaves as well. They're called folivores, which means they feed on the leaves of broadleaf trees as well as pine and fir needles. So the actual, like the Christmas tree, the little needles.
How does it eat them?
Well, so I imagine where they are, they've got an
mean,
abundance of those, so that means they've got that.
Mako
Our dog used to eat them, yeah, true.
She eats them.
But they also eat flower buds, seeds, bark, fruit, insects, wild onions and grasses.
I'll stick with the fruit.
During the colder months, their diet is more limited, consisting mostly of lichen and bark. Can you
That
imagine
must
living
be
on tree bark?
Oh my god. I mean, there's a lot of it, I guess.
Well, yeah. I
But,
don't imagine it's too nice to
No,
eat.
really crunchy. How could you eat that?
And it
I
must-
mean, sometimes they're lucky and get some bugs in the bark as well.
Maybe.
Oh, nice flavour. Oh, so do they just like rip it off of their hands then?
I imagine. Well, they have two really, like us, we've got canine teeth, but ours are very blunt, whereas most primates, their canine teeth are really like a dog's canine teeth, really sharp and pointy. So it may be that he can just
Rip it off.
with his teeth.
I wouldn't want to go near that monkey.
Yeah, oh yeah. So a lot of I think people think, oh, monkey's cute, but if they wanted to, could hurt us.
Even the normal monkeys.
Like
The
as in
brown
chimpanzees,
ones.
I think,
Yeah.
well, they're
I mean, they will just
very powerful.
literally throw you onto the wall, wouldn't they?
Much stronger than us. How you getting on, Michael?
I'm giving myself a break. My hands.
Your hands are hurting too much. Mine's looking really non-monkey looking, and mine's looking like an alien. Well, interesting. We could always say that you drew an alien today.
Wait, no. if it's an alien monkey, put a little spaceship on top of it.
Yeah.
Like the UFO. Put the UFO on top of it.
Be one way of developing it creatively, wouldn't it?
And like little green waves, like it's taking the monkey up.
Right.
I've got crazy imagination.
You have. I think most young people do, to be
Why
fair.
would an alien want a monkey, you know?
So I've done the bulk of the head, and what's the time? Oh my goodness, that's taken me some time, hasn't it? 26 minutes past.
What?
Oh my gosh.
I've
I
not
need
even
to get
done
a wriggle
background.
on.
I've not even done the background. I spent ages in the background. I'm
I
not even
need to-
finished the leaves. Just rush.
Let's get the colour down. This is what I mean though, when you're drawing a primate, it's the details you focus on even more because it's so familiar to us. The face is so familiar,
I'm
so
sorry.
it's easy to spend even more time on it.
I'm sorry to say your hand isn't a rubber. You're doing this.
I'm
Sounds
being
like when
aggressive.
you're rubbing a rubber. You
Well,
know?
this is because I'm drawing his fur or hair
yeah,
on his back,
yeah.
so I'm trying to show longer strands so you can see that texture.
Yeah. I've got to do really.
Plus, I'm rushing.
I've got to do really thick pencil lines for my leaves because I'm doing like the big lines I normally do in the background where it changes colours.
Oh yeah.
So I've got to do really thick leaves. Not thick leaves. Thick pencil lines. Otherwise, you won't be able to see like.
The colour.
Yeah. Although one of my leaves looks like a tiny mountain, so I just colour that over.
Oh, was I particularly slow on this? What's taking me so long to get to this point? Let's see if I can catch up.
Mommy.
I know. I was chatting away, completely oblivious.
I was looking at the time like, she'll be alright.
I was exactly the same when I was at school, to be fair.
Slow.
Yeah. Did things in my own
Can't argue
pace.
that. Bit like Elliot.
All on my terms. Oh, my hand is aching.
My head's
That's going to
hurting.
slow me down.
My head's hurting.
We've drunk enough today.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Had some milk. That's about it.
Right. Let's see if I can't get back on track.
Let's see if you can't.
Slightly darker tones in the fur as well, so I'm just going to use the black. To show that.
Might not have time to do the backgrounds.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I may well run out of time.
I haven't even watercoloured my monkey yet.
Nope.
But I need to hurry.
We're both colouring so furiously now. Deep concentration.
I've got a feeling my pencil's going to snap in a minute. it to like right at the bottom, I'm gonna stop it at like halfway at his body. Just because I'm gonna, yeah.
You've got a
I
plan.
don't know why. just want to, I guess. Now which pencil? Oh, this is the same green I was using.
How's yours going now? Is it Eden on Susie's profile? You said yours was looking non-monkey looking. Have you managed to pull it back a little bit?
I thought you talked to me. I was like, you forgot my name.
That'd be impressive.
I need more greens.
Right, what I'm going to do, I think, what have I did at the time? Oh, wow, managed to catch up on the body quite quickly. So I will have time to go in and start doing some of the foliage. That's a funny word, isn't it? Foliage.
It's, never heard that word before.
Really?
No.
Foliage. Foliage.
Oh.
It's because I say it how it's spelt.
Oh. I was like, I don't think I've heard that word before. That's a weird word.
And I'm not going to fuss too much on the details, mostly because I don't have the time to. But I just want to depict that he's in a little woodland sitting amongst the leaves. So I'm not, like I say, I'm not going to fuss too much because it's not the focus of the picture. The focus is him. This is just giving him a backdrop. If I had more time, I might spend more time on this. But again, I prefer drawing animals rather than plants, so even then I probably wouldn't.
Right, where's my...
I like to use the side of the pencil when I'm trying to put colour down quickly. It allows me to do that. So I'm just doing base colour. And I can go in with a darker one to get some of those lines in. Tell I'm rushing. It's almost scribbled, isn't it? Oh dear. And some down here. Mine, I missed that comment. Mine's looking possessed. Is it the eyes again? Is it the eyebrows? Do we need to move them around a little bit so your monkey doesn't look so possessed? Not the look we're going for. Or maybe it is. Me making assumptions. Maybe that's what you want. Get another leaf in up there, I think.
Done.
Oh, you did that quick, Michael.
It took longer than I normally do.
Yeah, that's
40
true.
minutes. I normally rush it and do about like 15 minutes, and I'm like done.
Ah, so I've got you admitting it on camera now that you do rush.
I forgot it was in After this, I'm having lunch.
Always food.
Pot noodles.
Nice, healthy, nutritious lunch. Noodle.
Kind of is. It's got mushrooms in it. Let's just make a salad.
Oh, I broke my pencil. I was being too aggressive.
Can't be aggressive. Mine looks like a baby one with the eyes, like, what am I doing? Why is my tongue pointing out? Like, what is this?
Oh, that's cute. Right,
It's like it's got,
get in there, back on track.
it's like it's got makeup on around his eyes where I've done it.
Okay, right, I can take a breath now because I've got most of it down.
Oh, you should make colour.
And
I mean,
Freya
what?
said, dropped it yourself in there, Michael. Right, I've lost my really tiny brush, so this is going to be interesting.
I've got a tiny brush.
Yeah, it's about the same size as mine. I like a really small one to do the eyes.
Really small.
Yeah, I don't lose the detail in the eyes.
Really. Still giving you the side eye, Mum?
He's giving me a side eye.
He's like, why are you drawing me?
Some more facts. We haven't done some facts for a while. Oh, can we see Michael's?
Never. It's a bit shoddy.
It's a bit wet at the moment. But here's Michael's golden snub-nosed monkey. And this is what Michael was talking about, the gradients in the background to show the foliage, rather than drawing each individual leaf.
Yeah.
It's a good strategy. Well done, Michael.
I did draw leaves, but
The head of mine looks like a porcupine. Oh no!
cute. Porcupines are cute.
Well, that's true. Maybe
Well,
you've
they
made
can't be cute when they want to try and
stab you with their
stab you
spines.
with their spines. Yeah. Apart from
Maybe
that.
you've created a new hybrid animal. Porcupine and a golden snub-nosed monkey.
Although porcupines are quite smelly, aren't
They have been when
You
we've
will
gone to
want
see
one.
them in our local wildlife park. They do stink, don't
they?
they?
Yeah. It's like, it's a weird smell, isn't it?
Mm.
When you get used to it, though, you just get used to it. You're like, oh yeah, it's a normal smell. But that's some porcupines over there. I can smell them.
Well done, Michael. Good job, Michael. Looks lovely. Ah, and love it from Susie. So another fact I was going to say. So they are very vocal, producing 18 types of calls. These primates have a remarkable ability to communicate in a ventriloquist-like manner, showing no visible sign of moving their mouth.
What?
Yeah, it's
They
pretty
just
cool.
hum it.
You can't see their mouth moving when they make the noise. However, their vocalisations often correspond with facial movements, Whines, shrills, moans, and chatterings are made when expressing affection or aggression, warnings of danger, and during peaceful periods of eating, playing, or resting. Contact calls are used at the approach of strangers. It's common for choruses of individuals or family units to emit calls together for several seconds at a time. A bit like wolves howling together, isn't it? Golden snub-nosed monkeys also communicate through postures and facial expressions. For example, crouching showcases submission, again like a dog, they lay down, don't they? And shrugging the shoulders while staring at their adversary with a closed mouth indicates aggression. So if they're starting a fight with someone, they shrug their shoulders at them.
I don't know what this guy is.
Interesting facts.
I wonder if they've got any snub-nosed, golden, what we're drawing now, in Wingham.
No.
No.
No, I don't, and because they need really cold climates,
They
we
won't
probably
be able to.
shouldn't see them in zoos, really, should we? I mean, you could
How
argue that about a lot of animals, to be fair.
How do they have the Arctic wolves in?
Well, yeah, that's true, but
Maybe they're just like,
who knows?
they can make, because there's different animals where they can just change climate. They can literally.
Some can cope with, yeah.
They can just cope with it. They're better off in the Arctic, but they can cope in warmer places.
Yeah.
But when it's like the winter, they're like, yes, snow.
Right, let's see if I can blend this fur so that it looks like fur. Can't wait to do the grasshopper. Really? Now that surprises me. I'm dreading a
It's gonna
grasshopper.
be really small.
No, you're gonna draw it big.
Oh yeah, but like, it's green, so
Not quite.
not all green, but
Insects. I find difficult to do
ladybugs are easy.
because they don't have fur. Fur can hide all manner of things, and it's quite forgiving. Whereas insects, it's very exact, very symmetrical, and you have to draw it quite accurately, which is not necessarily my forte. So I'm not going to lie, I will find that one a challenge.
Ladybugs are
But I'm
easy.
glad you're looking forward to it.
Ladybugs are easy.
Are they? Yeah, I find any insects a challenge. It might be because I'm not as excited by them either. I like drawing mammals because I find them fascinating. But maybe once I've done the research on the grasshopper, I'll find. In fact, I did start that already, and I have got some really interesting facts about that. So it is interesting.
Is it grasshoppers or crickets that make a sound? It's crickets, isn't it?
Well, now I have got that fact written down, but I can't remember now off the top of my head.
Because normally you'd be like walking past the grass and you hear a cricket. Like, it's a weird noise. I can't explain it, but it's.
Here's another fact. These highly social primates display behaviour known as fission and fusion, which is the seasonal formation and splitting of groups. So golden snub-nosed monkeys form units of between 20 and 70 monkeys during the winter, and the subgroups typically consist of family units which are composed of one dominant male and about 4 females with all their babies. And then during the warmer months, the monkeys will come together in troops of up to 200 individuals, sometimes even as many as 600. Fission and fusion is an uncommon practice amongst other primates. So they had their own tribes, and then during the summer months, the warmer months, the summer months, they band together to make even bigger tribes, and then they split up again for the winter months, which is quite unusual to see that in the animal kingdom. You get a pride of lions, for example. That is their pride. They don't band together with other prides. Have you got your phone, Michael?
No,
I suggest you finding the sound of
Yeah, no, I was using
some of their calls.
It mean I'd have to open the door.
That requires effort, doesn't it?
Apparently, yeah. I mean, you're walking up.
How am I doing? 1/4 We're doing all right. And then some of this longer fur. And we'll try and keep that definition with the hairlines. I don't want to just mix all the colours together, so I'm almost painting them as individual strands as well, just the same way as I put the pencil down as well. How's everybody else getting on? We'll switch to a bigger paintbrush for the leaves. I literally can't do the eyes at all. Well, there is a cheat for that. You could draw his eyes closed. If it's stopping you from progressing and it's winding you up and you're not enjoying it, there's always a fix for these things. A bit like when you draw someone with their hands behind their back to avoid having to draw their hands. Not that I do that all the time. So you could just draw them as two little slits to show that they're closed if it's something that is causing you aggro. And sometimes if you want to keep persistent with it and you're thinking it's the eyes that are wrong, sometimes it's worth actually assessing all of it. Is it that they're too close together or far apart rather than that it's the shape of the eyes? Sometimes it's not what you think. And a good way of trying to figure out, if you're not sure, because you've been staring at your picture for so long, hold your picture up to a mirror, because it's like your eyes have got used to seeing it a certain way. And when you see the reflection of it, so you're switching it round the other way round, it can really help you to see where the imperfections are. I forgot about that tip. That's one I should have shared quite regularly, really. That is a good little trick. Kirsty, well, it depends what you call progressing. Have you got a picture on your what was originally a blank piece of paper? Because if you've got something on there, then that's progress. If it's still a white piece of paper, then maybe not. Nearly done. And then I'll show a couple more facts I've got about the golden snub-nosed monkey. And if I had time to allow that to dry, I'd put some darker tones into the leaves, but I don't think I'm going to have time. Your eyes make it look so alive. Well, thank you. And honestly, I would say that all that I do to get that effect is making sure you've got a white highlight in there, and that you've shaded the eyeball to look like a ball rather than just a flat circle. So that means going darker around the edges and then lighter towards the middle, and that helps to give it depth and to make it look more realistic. So that is my advice for anyone wondering how you can make the eyes look more realistic.
You're not done yet.
I know I'm not done, I just can't find my pencil. Where's it gone? No, really, where's it gone? I lost my pencil. Oh, there it is, right in front of me, of course it was. Sign it, date it. So that's my golden snub-nosed monkey. I'm just going to check that I read all my facts out that I had. So they have golden orange foreheads, which we can see, plus necks and stomachs with darker markings around their crown and nape and outer arms, thighs and tail. Infants are a creamy grey-brown colour, and golden snub-nosed monkeys have pale blue faces with flat noses and large canines. I mentioned them earlier, didn't I? They're sharp teeth. I said about what they eat. Their conservation status, I did mention this, they are classed as endangered, unfortunately, primarily due to habitat loss and fragmentation. Deforestation is harming this tree-dwelling species, and it risks losing its forest home and food sources to agricultural expansion. So because we're taking the forests for farmland, they've got nowhere to live and nothing to eat. Illegal hunting, so they are poached and they're not legally hunted. It poses a severe threat as the monkeys are poached for their fur, meat and traditional medicine. These primates are protected in nature reserves throughout China and are recorded in Category 1 of the Chinese Wildlife Protection Act, so very, very endangered, and they're trying to protect them. Unlike most of their tropical counterparts, the dense fur that covers the entire body of these primates helps them thrive comfortably in sub-zero winters. The flat muzzle of them is thought to have evolved to combat the temperature extremities, like I explained. And an interesting behavioural adaptation of these monkeys can easily be understood from their enormously large groups, and that's to ward off predators like the clouded leopard. And other predators they have are mammals like the dhole, spelled D-H-O-L-E, it's like a wolf, foxy type animal, the wolf, the Asiatic golden cat, leopard, as well as large birds of prey, including the golden eagle and northern goshawk. So I imagine their babies especially would be quite vulnerable to large birds of prey. So that was it. So after panicking and thinking I was going to run out of time, I actually finished ahead of time. Standard. But that's okay. That's my golden snub-nosed monkey. So if you want feedback tonight, set an alarm on somebody's phone from 6 p.m. There'll be a post going up of this picture, my actual drawing. You're invited to comment with your picture before 9 p.m. and I'll leave you some feedback. Join us next week. What are we drawing next week? Anyone know? I'll quickly check on my phone, see if I can find it before my battery dies. We are staying in China, obviously, all this term. Let me see, what's the next live? Next week, it's the giant panda. So something that we associate very much with living in China and coming away from using golden tones and using black and white. So yeah, we're drawing a giant panda next week. Hopefully I will see you guys there. Feel free to share this with other people if you know other homemaking families that want to join in with this draw along. Parents can join in as well. There's no age limit. So yeah, I will see you then. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you hopefully next Monday. Hope you have a lovely week, and this has been a nice start to your learning week. We'll see you soon.